Well, hello dear viewers, this is Wolf and welcome to Level Up Reviews. Today we will continue with the Might and Magic series, with Might and Magic 2, Gates to Another World. Let's jam! Last time we left the New World Computing, they released Might and Magic Book 1, Secret of the Inner Sanctum. A huge success. With the help of Activision, the company grew very quickly. They rented their own office and storage facility. Mark Caldwell was also a huge addition to the company. He did quite a lot to help Van Cunningham out. Although it was still a small company with a single game. So, of course, John Van Cunningham and his team started to work on Might and Magic 2, Gates to Another World. They used the same engine to basically start developing very similar game to the first game. Honestly, there isn't much that distinguishes second game from the first one, except of course that the game looks better, and the fact that John wanted to make the game more creative and challenging, with a lot more puzzles and skills. As I said, Van Cunningham already knew the process to develop the games, and he used the same engine, so development for Might and Magic 2 went smoothly. The game was released in 1988, and well, it had a very mixed reception. In Computer Gaming World's issue 57, the reviewer Scorpia gave the game quite a harsh review, with the quotes like,
"To me, the process seemed a tedious and time-consuming exercise in mass butchery. The ending itself is remarkable for its pointlessness. The original game, while not perfect, was imaginative and interesting and showed great promise for future entries in the series. However, Might and Magic 2 seems to have swerved off the path in the boring Monster Mash/Monty Hall."
As you guessed, this seriously angered New World Computing. On the other hand, Dragon Magazine gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So it was not all bad. John Van Cunningham, however, would not forget this insult, and would write a counter article where he pointed out that he was just trying to be creative. But his vengeance would not end here. More about that in the future video. In Scorpia's defense, game did come out with a lot of bugs. The Apple version also had problem with RGB color cards, which was fixed in version 1.01 of the game. Might and Magic 2 itself is pretty much the game John set out to make. It is very similar to Might and Magic 1, with the addition of puzzles and riddles. Throughout the game, you will find encrypted messages of different colors that give you hints. Each has their own way to be decoded, but some of the information can be found elsewhere. The graphics also improved. Trees and rocks look much better. The whole game is far more atmospheric. Just look at the game. You can see significant improvement. You start with the character creation, which is pretty much the same as in the first game, only this time you have 2 new jobs, ninjas and barbarians. You still have the same races, but really all of this is pointless since you can transfer a character from the last game. Transferred character starts with 1000 gold and 100 gems for each character. The new character starts with nothing. There are also pre-made characters, but I just recommend to play the first game and transfer the character. Really, if you will like Might and Magic 2, you will also like 1. Again, just like in the first game, you start the game in the inn, and if you die, you will start again in the inn you visited last time. Leveling up is also same as in the last game. Temples also serve the similar function, with one addition of selling spells. Yes, this time around, you don't just learn spells with new levels, you need to buy spells from temples and mages guilds. Some other spells are scattered all around the world and you need to find them. There are a lot of spells, but honestly, there are only one or two useful ones. So getting a lot of them is just waste of time and money. You can also pay NPCs to learn skills like cartography, climbing, and navigation, which are all very useful and necessary in some cases. One other addition to the game are the hirelings. You will need to save a lot of them from the dungeons. You pay them while they're in your party. The amount depends on the level of the hirelings. If you can't pay them, they will go back to last inn you saved in. They also have no equipment, so you need to buy some. Hirelings do have some perks. They are revived and leveled up for free. The story follows up on the last game. You follow evil Sheltum in the new world of Kron, which Sheltum is trying to destroy. To stop him, you will need to fulfill some quests. All characters must first finish the Black Triple Crown quest. This involves buying black ticket from Atlantean blacksmiths and fighting monsters at the arena in Middlegate, the Monsters Ball in Sensabar, and the Colosseum in Atlantium. After winning all fights, you can go back to Black Bishop at Luxus Palace. Then you need to complete Juror quests, which can only be done by single class. Only Sif can assist. The Knight must slay Dread Knight, Paladin must slay Frost Dragon, Archer must defeat Baron Wilfrey, Cleric must reunite Korok's body with his soul, Sorcerer must free two wizards from different prisons, and Sif needs to assist everyone. This should be enough if you have imported party. But if you have created the new party with Barbarian and Ninja, you will need to do 2 more quests. Ninjas need to kill Ninja called Dawn, and Barbarians need to free the Northern Lands from the tyrannical rule. Then go to Jurors of Mount Fairview. They will give each character that fulfilled the quest plus and 5 million experience. Now you need to travel in time, for which you need 4 items. You will also need to save hireling Sherman from imprisonment and deliver him to Lord Peabody, who will let you use his time machine. Then you need to go back to year 800 and go to Castle Zabran to get 4 elemental discs, after which the hard part begins. You need to travel to elemental planes. For this, you need transmutation spell. But do not worry, the spells are right next to the planes. The hardest part of the planes is the navigation. I found messages and counted my steps very carefully. This is the only advice I can give you. Here, you find elemental talons. Then you need to travel to Dawn's Mist Cavern to get the orb. But you can't just take the orb. You need to give it to the hireling and dismiss him. Then find him in the inn and recruit him again. Then go back to year 800 and hand the orb over to King Kalon. Finally, go to Queen Lamanda at Luxus Palace. She will recognize you as heroes. Now you can see King Kalon, who will give you final instructions. Finally, you need to travel to Square Lake Cavern. Here you will have a lot of encounters. Finally, you reach and defeat Sheltum. But this is not the end. Now you will go to final room and enter password wave. And now you have 15 minutes to solve a puzzle. Basically, you have an encrypted message, to which the answer is Preamble. you need to write preamble in this code. The code changes, but message is always the same.
We, the people of Terra, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense.
So, puzzle can be easy. Well, at least now it is. After you have walkthroughs everywhere.
Back then, it was infuriating to fail the puzzle.
Since you need to fight corridor of monsters before reaching the puzzle. Honestly, not a fan of the ending. It just seems out of place. At the end, you are congratulated and sent back into the inn. All this might sound easy, but trust me, this game will challenge you. Might and Magic 2 is a result of a lot of experiments and high risks. There seems to be a lot of ideas put into the game, with not a lot of story behind it. I will be honest, it felt like a tedious work rather than an entertainment, but reward is absolutely worth it. This game will seriously challenge you. I have almost the same experience with this game as I had with Wizardry 7. Frustration, anger, sometimes even boredom. But in all honesty, after finishing this game, I just felt like I have accomplished something. This game feels exactly like what New World Computing set out to create. A grand adventure. It isn't ideal, but
What adventure is? We have no time to rest though, because our enemy is still alive and dangerous. Not to mention, he invites us to his own realm. Shout out to my brand new subscribers, Tiago Santos, Rob Ross, Rudy Rollins, Pagan Pilot, and all the rest of you whose names unfortunately I do not see. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to my channel. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment. Thank you very much.